Hello, Mgtows. Hello, man. Now I wonder how I can get to. I was just wondering how I can get to YouTube now. I have to do it myself and take a look and see if it's working. And today we're going to talk a little bit about positive people, life coaches, those excitable life coaches or positive people. They want you to put yourself in positive situations, and I guess it's not bad being in a positive situation, but I have to tell you, not a single thing has ever been learned about life being in a positive situation. You can look down into your psyche, you can look down into your mind, and you can ask yourself a few questions. Every positive situation you've ever been in, being at the beach, just laying around and everything, what did you learn? You learned nothing. Humans are that's because humans don't learn from positive situations. We learn from negation. Some guy a long time ago put his hand in a fire, and all of us learned what not to do. That's the way life is. We learn from negation, and we learn from pain, and we learn from getting things wrong. We learn by working through things. We learn by long, arduous hours of study. It's all painful. It all takes a little bit of it all takes one thing. It all takes an action. Positive people will bring you down faster than anything. And one thing positivity does is it sets you up for failure. It's that moment when you know the things went wrong. You're all positive. You're like, woo, I'm going to sell 100,000 of these things. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to be the best. And you get out there and it fails. And you could have been all the positive in the world you wanted, but failure is different. And being successful or being at least good at something will take an activity, and it will take doing it right. And the only way you're going to figure out or learn from that is through negation. Let me go to I got to go to YouTube so I can see what's going on. I can't really see what's going on. And there we go. I got to go to YouTube so I can. Okay, now I can actually see what's going on. And yeah, positive people will bring you down. But worst of all, positive people will set you up for some of the worst failures in your life. When you're delusional, when you're over optimistic about something, when you're when the face of adversity comes and you're over optimistic about something, being positive will help you nothing at all. I was just watching one of those life coaches, the bulldog mindset, the life coaches that come around Mgtow, and they're all really positive, and they got that enthusiastic salesman thing going. But I'll tell you what, you're not going to learn a single thing from that. Mgtow was created from a lot of men's pains before we had enough. That's what Mgtow was created from: getting angry, trying to fix it. Hey, anger in itself is active. When you're angry, you're active. Things are going to get busted. Yes, most of the time in this world, things are going to get busted. You're going to set yourself into motion, and you're going to do an action. And that's when most things in your life will get fixed. You have to keep a certain character about yourself when you get angry. You can be angry as hell and not even show it. Most people say, Joe, I never even knew you were angry about that. And I said, no, I don't show those things, but I'm angry as hell, and it put me in motion. I started doing things. When let there's a lot of emotions that go with this, and there's a lot of things that happen with human beings. But being falsely positive about things in your life when things are about to fall apart can you lead you to that one moment in life where you're sitting there with that, come on back, come on back. You're sitting there with that stupefied look on your face, wondering what went wrong. And that's the way I was with after the divorce came. I'm sitting there with that stupefied look on my face, thinking about how could this possibly have happened. All these things, all these things I was told, they were all positive. I put myself in a most positive situation I could, and then reality comes tumbling down, and not being not being with it or in the now, or being able to accept that when it happens. You have to be able to move on, and that's going to take anger, that's going to take outrage, it's going to take a lot of things. Whatever one you choose, I don't really care, as long as it motivates you to steer that anger and steer that outrage outward and do something about it, and not sit and pout after that, and take that first positive step forward. And that will take some anger. It will take something sometimes to get you going again. Positive people and putting positive people around you is like is man, that is so bad, because you're going to be sitting there, you're going to think everything's okay, you're not going to be doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're going to be delusional about it. You're going to be deluding yourself into this Disney positive thing. I see this with the life coaches all the time, the bulldog mindsets, the coach Chris Cantu's, the coach Eli's. They all have the same thing. We talked about this. I'll try to find a video where I talked about these steps that they use, and they're always the same steps. They start from the triangle of life, and you got to work through. But that triangle, there's always in the middle with start putting people in your lives and having relationships and that thing. And that's the bait, and that's the trap. From there, you're introducing chaos into your life. Chaos is always something that's absurd. You're sitting there trying to be positive. You're like, "Woo, this is so going to work out," and you got 100,000 pounds on a string, and it falls. That wasn't very sensible. That's what being positive. That's what being positive will get you. You got 100,000 pounds on a string, and you're hoping that it's not going to fall. Yes, yeah, Derek. I try to be positive in life. I try to be a fake positive for people around me, because I know life is so negative, and I know life is painful, and I know I got to get out there every day. And even when you're at work, or you're somewhere you don't want, you put the happy face on, and what you're teaching yourself to do with these positive people is you're teaching yourself to put rose-colored glasses on. I put a happy face on and a smile, and I go out there and do it. But those rose-colored glasses sometimes tint what they hue what I'm seeing in the world, and I really need to see what I'm seeing in the world, because I can't be false positive about anything. I can't put myself in situations where I'm delusional about what's going to happen, because I'm full with hope. Hope is Simpson's paradox, and I don't want hope. I want the real thing. I want life to happen the way I want it to happen. I want to manipulate it. I want to put action to it, and I want it to go my way. Most of my life I spent trying to think of all those positive things, trying to do all those positive things. With women, man, you got to do that. You got to smile. You got to tell a joke. You got to be fake about that. You got to be fake about yourself. You got to put your best jeans on and your best shirt and get out there and go, "Woo, I'm just enjoying life." That's because she wants you to make her happy. If she knows life sucks. And if you make her happy, that's it. And you're that fake kind of positive, but that'll only work for a while. That it's going to come that point where it's going to stop working, and things are going to crash. And that crash, there's a long way to fall in that crash. And And that's what I just wanted to talk about. That positivity, super positive people fail the worst, and they have the longest drops in this world. People that are objective, people that are can look at things and look at things critically and not get all excited about things. These are the people that are generally going to logically move through situations in life. Being fake positive about something will just put you in the worst situation you can possibly be when that adversity comes. I'll try rebooting my phone. You got phone problems, Taryn? Sorry about that. Yeah, a lot of internet problems over the last week. I think a lot of companies redid their redid some of their stuff. I noticed most of the internal companies were down this week at some time, making some critical changes in the interneting stuff. But that puts us in a lot of problems. I noticed that a lot of things got stopped being supported this week too. So a lot of older, not even older ones. I have a Asus that I just bought 4 years ago, and that's going to be stopped being supported by Chrome this week. And so a lot of changes. I don't know what the changes were to the interneters, the interneting thing, because I'm not that smart. I don't care what goes on, what they do, as long as they keep providing for things. I'll keep doing that. Yeah, I wanted to talk about two things today. It's not Tuesday. 2 for Tuesday was yesterday, and 2 for Tuesday I got tacos, and I wasn't up for talking yesterday, so I got tacos yesterday, and that was 2 for Tuesday. But there was something I wanted to talk. I've been trying to push a new word, a new idea lately that kind of sums up what the world for Mgtows are, and let me get to my page, and I'll read off my page, and that's what I'll do. I'm trying to. It's the matrimonial archy. I'll type that in so you guys know what I'm talking about. Whoops, that's not going to work. That's the chat button. Yeah, there we go. That's the matrimonial archy. A lot of times we hear about the patriarchy. We hear about the matriarchy. We hear about feminism. We hear about these things in group dynamics, and we hear about how men, the patriarchy, run the world. And I'll tell you what, the patriarchy doesn't run the world. The married people run the world. Like I said, 89% of them, 89% of the people in Congress are married, and every single one of those married people are doing one thing. They're pushing married people's interest. Matrimonialarcy, I define this. It's a word that was used in 427 the last time it was used. And you can use that with an L or without an L too. You can matrimonialarcy, which how it was pronounced. In the state of overrepresentation of married people in Congress and world affairs that suppress single people's rights. That's what that means, matrimonialarcy. And I was trying to push this as a place of patriarchy. Every time I look at patriarchy, it hinges itself on the patriarchy theory always hinges itself on conspiracy theories somewhere out there. The men are wink, wink, nod, nod. They're doing things behind our back that nobody else can see. All these men are out there, the patriarchy. Well, that could be easily said for the matriarchy too. And the patriarchy doesn't run things, and the matriarchy doesn't run things. You know who runs things in this world? The matrimonialarcy people, matrimonialarcy people. That's who runs things in this world. That's who makes the laws. Most of the laws in our country were made by people that in married situations, and that's who runs things. There's a discrimination against single people. You can see when single people run for office, they often ask, "Are you married?" Like being in the state of marriage will make a better more positive person in Congress. And he'll say, "No, I'm not married." And like I told, I had conversation with other people. Not being married is a non-state of affairs. It doesn't describe nothing. It doesn't describe anything about the person. It doesn't describe anything at all. It's not being married is like not being in Cleveland. Uh, when I use the term not being in Cleveland, what does that describe? It doesn't describe a single thing in the world. The logic is off. Being married is a non-state of affairs, like not being in Cleveland. I say to a person, I'm not in Cleveland. It doesn't mean anything. Nevertheless, like in Cleveland, not being married. When I say I'm not married, I can be talking about not suffering or not being in pain, which is critical to the enjoyment of all of our lives. Not being in pain would be critical to that. That's the only place I can possibly see where a non-state of affairs would be important. I'm not in pain, which is really a state of affairs because I'm in bliss. So not being married doesn't mean nothing to nobody. And sometimes we say with deep passion, I don't have to deal with the suffrage of marriage and everything, but that doesn't describe anything. It doesn't describe being married or anything. It doesn't really describe it. But in a way, sometimes this thing relaxes us when we say that, and it in a way it ratifies our beliefs and that life is going to be grand or good by the absence of something in ourselves or the presence even of something in ourselves. It's all a non-state of affairs. It really doesn't do nothing logically for me. It just it's just made to be a starting point for defining the necessary conditions for living while in marriage and everything. At a certain point, people bonded together to have children out in the woods, and the man was needed there, and the woman was needed to do things, and it was a necessary condition of living. Today, it's not a necessary condition of living. The internet is full of all these things, and all these untruths and a whole lot of things. And it really bothers me. But one thing for sure, and two for certain, the whole world wants you to go, oh, there's some patriarchy over here, or some feminism, matriarchy over here. But it's not those people you're looking for, because those people, it doesn't exist. What you got is in this world is the matrimonial archy. And those are two spoiled little children, two parental figures, or whatever you want to call them, a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, just arguing out in public. That's all that it is a husband and wife arguing out in public. You don't need to go anywhere believing in a conspiracy, because that's all around you every single day. You can go to your friend's house, you can go up the street, you can go in any town, on any street, in any church, and you can see that. You can go to any grocery store or school, and you can see that husband and wife, this gender dynamics playing out, and that thing permeates our lives. And we're supposed to accept that this matrimonial archy thing that we see out here should be the responsible party for making our laws within our system. And I'll tell you, and I'll tell a lot of people, that is the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life. Letting the married people with their lowered IQs and are arguing all the time and their gender dynamics making the rules in this world. My criticism of this people is to enjoy solitude and freedom. You enjoy solitude is freedom, and freedom is happiness. And seeing most of us enjoy our solitude, we relate that with freedom, and because it's synonymous with each other. If you just look out in the world, ask anybody on the planet what they really want, they're going to tell you, we want freedom. Freedom is synonymous with solitude. They go together, they work together, that's it. And if you don't believe that, just ask people that don't have freedom. I'm sure they'll concur with the idea that freedom is one of the most desirable things in this world. And that goes with your solitude, and that goes with being single. When you're around somebody, you don't no longer have that freedom to be who you are, what you want to do, and all those things. But this religious marital matrimony thing, with this idea that we have these common links between man and woman. There's this electrical force that goes back and forth between us, and somehow we're sharing some electrical positivism or something between us, and we're deluding ourselves. That's delusional. That's Disney version of America, and they've got most people so confused about this thing that as long as we're arguing about some evil patriarchy that doesn't exist, or some evil feminist matriarchy that really doesn't exist, we take our eyes off of the people that are really doing this. And this is the matrimonialarcy people. That thing was created by religion to keep people together so they'll take care of each other, even in times of severe aggression towards each other. You are stuck with that, and that's the worst feeling in the whole world. Your freedom is gone. And being a man in this society, when all the laws seem to work against you, that marriage thing is not going to work. It's just not going to work. So I wanted to resurface a word. I wanted to bring it back from the dead. And I'm sure it was placed on the pile of dead words for a good reason. It was placed on a pile of dead words because religion saturated everything in the year 1427 or 427, and they had to do away with certain languages. They had to do away with certain words. They had to start getting rid of languages that were pre 10,000 years old. And we in Ireland found that out because they tried to get rid of our language. And they started getting rid of words that were contrary to their beliefs. And matrimonialarcy is one of those words. And it simply means a simple little thing. If you let all these people get married and they start taking over everybody in our government, and everybody in your Congress, and everybody in your Senate, and everybody in your state houses are married, guess what the laws are going to be? They're going to be slanted towards marriage and marital things and married people. And that's what you're going to get. But in this society here that we have, we're climbing up over 51% of the people out there are not married, and they're not represented by any laws in this country because all the laws were formed for married people. There is no need for marriage anymore, and they can shut those marriage shops up as far as anybody's concerned, and we can do away with them because we're not fighting off dinosaurs at the edge of your cave anymore. Them things are old and they're outdated and they're barbaric. I see this going all around. I see this all around me, and I see this delusional thing that we do. And I see these delusional things that they do in feminism. I see the delusional things that they do in we do, and even in the in Mgtow and in the MRA, as we blame it on this other fantasy fiction thing, which is just tantamount to a matriarchy. And then they'll say, well, it's a patriarchy. And then you can see the both ends, matriarchy and patriarchy. You can see these things work out, and it's a matrimonialarchy. You just got a husband and a wife arguing, and they're throwing things back at it, and it looks disgusting, and they're stuck in the same room as each other. It's like locking two people that hate each other in the same room for a long period of time, and put some glass cups and some things. They'll start throwing them at each other, And that's what this world is all about. And it's Occam's razor. It's the fastest and easiest way to get to this problem, this solution for this problem. But as long as we're arguing the patriarchy, and as long as we're arguing feminism, the matriarchy, by a different name, you can still call a turd is a turd. You can call it a rose, but it still smells like a turd. You can call something feminism. You can call it Zimbabwe for all I care, but it's still a turd. Patriarchy and matriarchal thoughts are still bad ideas, and they got rid of the only word that ever described it perfectly, so we can see our society, how it works, and that's matrimonialarcy. These people will take over your government. They'll take over the authority. You look up, there's divorce courts, and then there's marriage halls, and there's churches, and there's these things that are designed. There's halls for getting married in. There's events. These things are expensive, and half of our world is designed around that. And then you get divorce courts, and you get child support, and you get all this bullshit, and it's all resigned around the matrimonialarchy people's design of our system. And that's what I wanted to talk about. We got to stop in Mgtow. In Mgtow, the most logical place in the world, we got to stop being delusional about those things. We have to stop being delusional about those things. Ooh, look at that. Hey, when the driver support thing pops up when I'm doing this thing. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I'm just trying to reinsert a new word into this program of ours, and it's matrimonialarchy, and it describes the problem with most of our problems in life, and it's just married people. And married people will segregate against you. They will do things to you. They will make sure you're kept down unless you join their system. If there is bias and bigotry out there, I would say the biggest bias and bigotry come from the matrimonialarchy people towards single people. You go out there as a single person, you go, oh, why aren't you married? Well, don't you have a girlfriend? I'm gonna play matchmaker and fix you up with this girl over here. She's single too. And they need you to affirm that they're right. And that's why they do that. The matrimonialarchy people are the worst evil in this world. They run our government, they run all of our systems. And they got you all delusional that there's some feminism matriarchal system over here, and there's some patriarchal system over there, and they're sitting there laughing, playing two sides of the middle, and all it is a husband and a wife arguing. It's everywhere, and it's disgusting, and we got to get rid of it. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to come on and introduce my new idea, and I wanted to give some people a little bit of support with you're going to get the positive life coaches around here. They're going to say all sorts of positive things, the Coach Eli's and the Bulldog Mindsets and the Chris Cantus and everything. And they're like, woo, high energy, positive life coaches. But if man has never learned a single thing from being positive, you can think about every positive event that you've ever been in your life and ask yourself, did I learn something on that? No, you haven't. That's not how we learn. We learn from negation, we learn some observation, and we learn from experience. And that's what Mgtow is about. Negation, observation, and experience. We have to be the rational ones because the whole world is out there being all crazy. The clown world is out there being all crazy right now. And they need us, and they need us bad. So I'm going to start spreading that word around. I don't care if anybody believes me or listens to me and everything, but we have to introduce a new word into our system of understanding, and that's a matrimonial archy. There is no patriarchy. There is no matriarchy. There is no. There is no feminism. That's just a matriarchy thing. There's only one group of people out there, and it's 50% man and 50% women, unless it's a lesbian marriage or a gay marriage, but that doesn't account for much. And even those people are dangerous. It's the matrimonial archy people. Those are the people that are going to screw up our laws, screw up our system, start costing you way too much, and they're going to want you to pay for their existence. And that's all I got to say today. I want to keep it short. I want to go about my way and do my things. I want to go out for another bike ride. It's dark out there. It's cool. And I got to throw a jacket on. But I'm going to go take another bike ride today because summer's running short. And I only got so many hours left on that bike. And I want to do every single one of them. So each and every one of you guys, thanks for coming around. Thanks for listening. But most of all, men, most of all, thanks for being Mgtow. Mgtow.